Well, welcome everyone. And as they said, my name is John Holm. I'm a guitar picker and an American patriot. I love my country, I love democracy, and I love bluegrass. And Chad and Kath did a great job introducing MVP, but I'm going to share a message today of hope and resolve. Right now, it's up to us to roll up our sleeves and take our country back. We have a job to do. And the Movement Voter Project has a plan to get it done. This fight won't end in 2026, but our accomplishments this year will make or break our movement for our Constitution, our humanity, and our way of life. And if you have any questions in the course of this short presentation, please hold on to them until the end or just put them in the chat. And Anne is monitoring the chat. So as Chad mentioned, recent events in Minnesota and Maine have really clarified what's happening in our country. Military-style operations in our communities, extrajudicial killings, violations of the First, Second, Fourth, Fifth Amendments, regime enablers telling us not to believe our lying eyes. So let's face it, the nightmare scenario we had all hoped to avoid is here. Open corruption, grifting, and bribery, destruction of federal programs that provided real benefits at home and around the world, abandonment of international allies, appeasement of enemies, weaponization of law enforcement, performative cruelty, and just overall assaults on our values and our way of life. So yes, we have a fight on our hands. And right now, our fight takes many forms. Many of us are already working on some of these things, from protests to postcards, from voter registration to mutual aid. And whatever you're doing now, one essential component of our fight is political. We have to take back Congress in the 2026 midterm elections. So why is taking back Congress so important? Well, there's a number of reasons. First of all, elections are the ultimate poll, and beating MAGA in 2026 will demonstrate that the vast majority of Americans do not approve of MAGA's racist Project 2025 game plan. Taking back Congress carries the power to pass legislation, conduct investigation, and start impeachment proceedings. Taking back Congress will demonstrate that we can prevail despite MAGA's voter suppression and election denialism. And taking back Congress is an essential precondition to winning the White House in 2028. But none of this is going to happen by electing more Democrats from the San Francisco Bay Area. We're maxed out. Taking back Congress will happen in the battleground states and flippable congressional districts that went for Trump in 2024 and have been turning blue in every election since he took office. So how exactly do we do this? How do we identify the places where we can win and the candidates we can trust? After Election Day, how can these candidates be held accountable to the people who elected them? That's where the Movement Voter Project comes in. And in a nutshell, the Movement Voter Project is the one-stop shop for political donors to support local organizing in the places it matters most. And the rest of this presentation, I'm going to break down these 3 points in reverse order, starting with what are the places that matter most? So the places that matter most is a code for the bright purple states and congressional districts where elections are often decided by margins of 2, 3, 5%. And they include the perennial presidential and Senate battlegrounds like Michigan, Wisconsin, Georgia, North Carolina, Arizona, Nevada, and Pennsylvania. And the places that matter most also include dozens of congressional districts, most of them currently represented by Republicans, that can be flipped with an energized grassroots base. And these districts are all over the place: California, New York, Minnesota and Maine, and elsewhere. And these are the places that we need to win in 2026. We'll share this slide deck. This is a lot of information here that I don't expect you to absorb in this moment, but we'll share these slides later. So then the next question, how do we win these elections? The answer is local organizing. So given everything that I've been saying about winning elections, you actually might be surprised to learn that MVP does not support candidates directly. Instead, we support grassroots groups that are embedded in their communities, groups that field organizers who listen to their neighbors, identify the issues of concern, recruit volunteers, train leaders, vet candidates, win elections, and enact legislation. These grassroots organizations, who we call MVP partners, are the real driver behind MVP's success. It seems simple, but it's a different way of doing things. Local partners are trusted messengers who know their neighbors, know their issues, know their candidates, and know how to put all three elements together to enact progressive legislation that both benefits and empowers their community. Unlike candidate campaigns, MVP partners are trusted messengers who stick around after Election Day to hold their candidates accountable and enact legislation. So, what does MVP offer to these partners? First of all, financial support, and that's where we come in. Second, capacity building, training, and expertise. Third, they help coordinate with similar groups working in statewide ecosystems to avoid duplication and leverage the strengths of individual partners. So how does that work in practice? Well, the key interface between us as donors and the partners on the ground are MVP's state and regional advisors, of whom there are 10 or 12 right now. These are full-time professional people who come out of the states and regions that they're working with. They vet, coach, coordinate, and evaluate MVP partners. And these advisors are the key ingredient of MVP's secret sauce. So one example, how does it all come together in practice? This is one of my favorite MVP stories, and it's from North Carolina. It's the story of North Carolina Medicaid expansion. So over a period of years, MVP's partner, Down Home North Carolina, organized rural communities to advocate with state legislators to enact Medicaid expansion. And what that does is it makes the healthcare benefits offered by the Affordable Care Act available to residents of the state. And for years, North Carolina, Republican-dominated legislature refused to enact Medicaid expansion because they said, our people don't need this. So Down Home North Carolina organized, they kicked some butt, and after years of stonewalling in 2023, the Republican-controlled North Carolina legislature caved into grassroots pressure and enacted Medicaid expansion for their state, providing affordable health care to 600,000 North Carolina residents. So that was success number one. But there's more. When this signature accomplishment was obliterated by Trump's big bad bill in 2025, North Carolina Senator Thom Tillis pushed back against Trump, declaring that he would not vote for a bill that deprived his constituents of health care and, in addition, would not be running for re-election to the U.S. Senate. That would be happening later this year. So now there's an open Senate seat in North Carolina, and the front runner is this guy right here, former Democratic Governor Roy Cooper. And the guy that signed the bill for Medicaid expansion. So that is the power of local organizing. And with your support for MVP, Down Home North Carolina will mobilize voters to elect Roy Cooper this year as their next U.S. Senator, and that will be success number 3. So that's the where and the how of MVP. And next up is the who. And the who is us, the donors. MVP, as I said, we like to call it the one-stop shop for political giving, because MVP's partners don't stand alone. They need our support to make it happen. And in case you didn't notice, this is a two-way street. They need us to support them financially, and we need them to fight for our freedom in the places where power can be won. We can't do it from here. We can't do it by remote control. Giving to MVP is not charity, it's survival. And so the question then for us is, how does MVP support us as donors? Well, first of all, the state advisors that I mentioned. MVP invests serious money in understanding the partner organizations that are out there organizing the communities. There's currently 10 to 12 full-time folks working on this in different parts of the country. They have deep roots in community and electoral organizing in their state or region. And we saw a moment ago how they support the partners, but they also support us because this is how the work gets done. So in addition to that, MVP is very collaborative. We collaborate with other national organizations. Indivisible, Seed the Vote, Working Families Party are just a few. We're not sort of turfy in the sense that if you want to donate to a different organization, or directly to some of these partners, we're fine with that because we just want to get the money where it needs to go. Um, so we do the collaboration. Next, MVP is really good about sharing insights with donors through strategy papers and blog postings with answers to our questions and updates on the latest partner strategies and successes. Just take a few minutes or a few hours sometime to look through the offerings at the movement.vote website. And I'll post a link to that in the chat when I'm done here with this presentation. And especially go to the strategy and updates tabs. And there's just a ton of information about the strategies that they're using and the activities of the partners. So, because of all this work that they do, we can give with confidence to MVP. It fine tunes our effectiveness as donors and maximizes our impact. Another one of the catchphrases that we like to use is that MVP does the research so that we don't have to. And so, on a more personal level, when you focus your giving strategy through MVP, you can boost the signal and cut the noise. All those emails from attractive candidates you never knew. If they are what they say they are, and they're in the purple zone between shoe-in and hopeless, MVP partners will have their back. Unsubscribe from all those emails. Save your texting app for real-time messages from family and friends, and free your inbox from political spam. Um, and additionally, we really suggest that under the circumstances that we're in, of the dire threat to our democracy, that everybody needs a giving plan for your family, a budget for democracy. The crisis that we're facing is not ending anytime soon. And these grassroots movements need sustained financial support year in and year out, not just at election time. For the sake of our values, our democracy, our planet, and our children's future, we need to each put a line item in our family budget on a par with what we might spend each year on a nice family vacation or a remodel project at home. But no matter how much any of us can give, and I know it's different for everyone, we each have the capacity to spread the word about the important work that's being done by MVP partners. And really, that's why we're here today. So, whether you form a band, host a house party, talk it up with friends and family, um, you suspend disbelief on what can be expected in this moment. You'll be surprised how many people will step up to this crisis to offer their support in ways you would have never guessed to be possible. So that is MVP in a nutshell. To learn more, check out the website at movement.vote, attend a local house party in person or a national briefing on Zoom, or reach out to me directly to chat over the phone or over coffee. I'm in this for the win, and I'll put my information in the chat. Thank you so much for supporting grassroots democracy.